Good day everyone, Omar here, and in this video guys we'll discuss and compare two wide-angle lenses for Sony APSC cameras. The 9mm Laowa f2.8 zero distortion and Sony 10-18mm f4. Now the big concern for most of us is, does Laowa the 9mm worth the high price, the $500, and by any chance is the 10-18mm f4 any better? This guy has image stabilization and a zoom feature. Although Laowa is widely known for its image quality, I believe this lens is still not the best gig for most of us. And actually, that's what made me think about making this video. Welcome to a new episode of Super Glass, and let's get started. Straight to the point. Sony 10-18mm lens has autofocus and image stabilization, optical steady shot. Laowa, on the other hand, is well known for its manual focus lenses and zero distortion. It means that any line in the picture will look a straight line. And by the way, I found that keeping the focus slightly before the infinity is the best for Laowa in order to have an overall sharp image, because having the focus set to infinity makes blurry images. The infinity is unreachable, and thus when having the focus set to infinity, so you can't reach that. The f2.8 aperture is perfect for astrophotography. I believe using f4 lenses on APS-C cameras makes noisy images. So in general, this guy is better for low light situations, real estate projects, and definitely the manual focus experience is different. Sony, on the other hand, is versatile in other situations because of the zoom capability, image stabilization, and autofocus feature. Okay, so let's start comparing distortion in both lenses. See the wall line right here? On Laowa, it's perfectly straight, while on Sony we see it a little bit curvy. This is called distortion, and it's a common flaw in wide-angle lenses. Anyway, if you're using Adobe Lightroom or any other editing software, these images can be fixed when turning lens correction on. See, this is Sony before and after. And for videos, I believe there is no easy way to fix distortion, so bear that in mind. And when it comes to vlogging, Sony 10-18mm is your guy. It has autofocus and optical steady shot, image stabilization, which will help you very much when you're vlogging. I'm now on Sony 10-18mm at 10mm f4, and we'll switch now to Laowa. Alright, so here is Laowa 9mm at f2.8, and as you see I get a wider field of view, so 9mm is actually wider than 10mm, but you have to get yourself in focus. This is a manual lens, and if you didn't make it right, you get a bad footage. And speaking of lens stabilization, here are some clips shot with both lenses side by side, so you get an idea what Sony optical steady shot can do. Bokeh. f2.8 and f4 do not make any shadow depth of field background on wide-angle lenses. However, this might show when vlogging, because you are actually very close to the camera. Here I got Sony on the right and Laowa on the left. In-hand overview. The 9mm Laowa is mirror build, whereas Sony is plastic. Although Laowa looks way smaller, it has in fact the same weight as Sony, which is relatively lightweight compared to other lenses. Both lenses Sony and Laowa support filter thread. Sony requires 62mm filter size, whereas the 9mm Laowa filter size is 49mm. Sample images. Here I want to show you the difference between 10 and 9mm. Indeed, there is a slight difference. 9mm is wider. And when having subjects relatively close to the camera, we also get different perspectives. And here is another low angle shot where both images look quite the same as I made few steps back. And I would say when having the camera set to auto white balance, Sony 10-18mm images are cold. Laowa looks more realistic, in my opinion. And actually I mean particularly the indoor images. I don't see this issue in outdoor images. Lens flare. Okay, so when dealing with lens flare, Sony and Laowa perform quite differently. Again, lens flare is relative, and you may like one guy more than the other. Microphotography. Since Laowa and Sony lenses are absolutely ultra-wide angle lenses, microphotography is not what these lenses originally made for. But it's worth the highlight that Laowa can do 4.7 inches, 12 cm minimum focus distance. And actually we can get kind of wide macro images. Sony minimum focus distance is 9.8 inches, 25 cm. Here are the output of both lenses at the minimum focus distance. Vignette. I would say Laowa has a heavy vignette at f2.8. It gets better at f4 and much better at f5.6 and f8. On the other hand, Sony Vignette at 10mm f4 is very little. Looks very similar to f5.6 and f8. In addition, we have the same vignette quality at 18mm. Image quality and sharpness. At f4, Laowa 9mm is sharper than Sony at 10mm, whether in the center, sides, and corners. Also, Laowa at f2.8 is sharper in the center than Sony at f4, and is slightly sharper in the other part of the image. And at f5.6, both lenses share the same sharpness quality in the center, while Laowa is still slightly sharper at corners. And jumping to f8, Sony has better sharpness, but Laowa is still quite better around the center. Now at 18mm, the image is remarkably soft at f4, and it gets way sharper at f5.6 and f8. Chromatic aberration. Usually chromatic aberration shows in the heavy contrast. So in Laowa we get slight color fringing at f2.8, and it gets better at f4 and much better at f5.6. Sony, on the other hand, has some color fringing at f4 and 5.6, while f8 is much cleaner. But in general, the amount of chromatic aberration is relatively low in both lenses. So as I'm testing both lenses, Sony and Laowa, I tend to agree that Laowa 9mm has better image quality, while Sony is more versatile in terms of autofocus, image stabilization, and zoom feature. I hope this video helped in making your decision. Thumbs up if you found this very helpful, and bump the subscribe button for more camera gear reviews. This was Oma, and see you in another one.